Hello viewers, today I've been giving you a tutorial on the skeleton of a CBC lesson, or what ought to be taught in a CBC lesson. Welcome to my tutorial, and kindly remember I've made so many other CBC related tutorial. Catch up with me in the YouTube. Now, when it comes to teaching or facilitating a CBC lesson, the teacher prepares a substrate and carries it to class. It is up to you as a teacher to ensure that in this CBC lesson that you are facilitating, you are facilitating the following. You are facilitating PCIs or pertinent and contemporary issues, or what we call emerging issues. You are facilitating knowledge. You are facilitating skills. You are facilitating nurturing of talent. You are helping your learners to embrace values and also cultivate positive attitude. If you do this, then your learners will be getting unbalanced learning, which is the expectation of the CBC curriculum. In reality, you go to the class with a PCI, a knowledge, skills, talent, values, and attitude. In the class, for example, you would want your learners to know the related issues related to this knowledge which is here, which are likely to affect them in life. Remember, the PCIs or emerging issues do dominate the kingdom of the learners very much because these learners are young, they lack information, or they have little experience in life. And once these PCIs are not taken care of by giving your learners more and more information related to the knowledge you are about to teach, then the learners may end up losing, let's say, their property. They may end up losing their life or living a very miserable life. So it is up to you as a teacher to keenly take care of PCIs in your lesson. Also remember to be very sensitive when you are carrying a PCI to class, because some of your learners could be either affected or infected. So it is up to you to do a pre-class counseling or a pre-lesson counseling to the affected or to the victims before you carry and teach the same substance, so that you don't damage the self-esteem or self-efficacy of these learners. Then from there, after you are through with the related PCI, you embark to delivering, facilitating knowledge, and the knowledge is in the learner's textbook. The knowledge is already in the learner's textbook. So once you are through with giving your learners knowledge, you bear in mind that if the learner keeps the knowledge, stores the knowledge without putting it into skills, then that learner is just like a farmer who plows and plows without planting. Every season he is plowing, no planting. So to avoid that, ensure that whatever knowledge you have taught your learners here, they bring it into real life, into skills. For example, in agriculture, you could be teaching your farmers cash crops and how to harvest them. For example, a cash crop like tea. So you will tell your learners in class, when harvesting tea, we harvest 2 leaves and a bud. So the learner will know it is 2 leaves and a bud. But remember, if you don't take them out to do practicals, real life, some learners may think it is just harvesting the bud here, and the 2 leaves from anywhere. As long as you maintain the ratio, that is correct. No, that is wrong. It is 2 leaves and a bud, the youngest. 2 leaves and a bud, which are together the youngest in the plant. Also, the same can be said. Let's say you are teaching the core of Moses. The knowledge here is the core of Moses. This learner here will learn Moses was grazing sheep and goats. So when it comes to skills here, the learner will know or will put that one into skills. Go at home maybe and keep some buns, some rabbit, depending on the age of the learner. And as they grow, they will keep bigger animals. Then from the skills, you move to talent. Maybe in the learners' textbooks, the learners are told to sing a song related to the same knowledge, the core of Moses. So the learners have learned how to sing a song. It is up to you as a teacher to nurture that talent and add to more. Maybe the learners can also draw, can exercise the talent of drawing. They draw the picture of Moses at the burning bush. From there, you move to the values. There are so many values here in this knowledge. Whatever the learning area, may it be biology, chemistry, there are values that should be learned from this knowledge. Make sure that your learners embrace those values and live by them. They live practicing them. For example, if the learner embraced the value of responsibility here, remember Moses was looking at domestic animals, he was grazing, and that calls for high responsibility. So the learner here will embrace that value of responsibility and live by it. By observation, just a learner, for example, in school, is the one who meets a running tap, water tap, and then tries to close that tap to save water. And if he is unable, does not give up. He just goes to report to the administration or to the people concerned that there is a broken tap somewhere and we are wasting water. So by observation, you can say this learner has learned the value of responsibility and is living the value, he is doing the value. Then from there, you move to positive attitude. You can see here, positive with red. Always ensure your learners cultivate a positive attitude in all their undertaking. And this positive attitude is moving from good, better, best every time. So that if the learner is employing a positive attitude here, which is growing or here, then this learner will be able to do to their level best. And whatever the product they come up with will not only be sufficient for them, but for the whole community. Then from there, you have realized your learners are down here. You can see the learners, they're in class. They are taking all these, they are learning all these using the 7 core competencies of CBC, for example, communication and collaboration, for example, imagination and creativity. There also may be engaging digital literacy. They have laptops with them somewhere. So what you have to know here is you cannot afford to give, let's say, this one and leave the rest. If you make that mistake, then this CBC lesson will be doomed. It will be like when preparing a meal to our family. We all know that when it comes to feeding our family, we give them fruit that minute to the real meal. They take fruit so that the vitamin can be absorbed before they eat the meal. Then from there, we prepare a balanced diet for them. We prepare protein, we prepare vitamin and carbohydrate. We also go an extra mile to add other nutrients, to add onions and fat to add to the nutritional value and to make the food delicious. If you cannot afford to prepare one type of the meal to your family, let's say carbohydrates, and if you made that mistake of saying here is valid and go to bed, there will be disaster in waiting. Either children may get kwashiorkor, or there will be quarrels in the family, and finally this family will break down. The same way, we cannot afford to prepare an balanced meal to our family. It is the same way we cannot afford to give unbalanced learning or learning which is not balanced to the learner. You cannot give, let's say, knowledge and PCIs alone and say the lesson is over. You cannot even give half to hear and say the lesson is over. You bear me witness that there are even those learners who go maybe through primary, secondary, and they score so well here in knowledge. And when they score well, they score maybe an A, that I'm talking of the 8.4.4, they go to the university or to a college, only maybe to return home in a coffin. Or maybe they just go there and sink as drug addict and other immorality. Then we as teachers and parents and other stakeholders, we keep on wondering, what happened? So and so was very bright. He got a A, went to university. What happened? Why did he die? Why did he sink into drugs? Why did she sink into prostitution? It is because we gave only knowledge. We forgot to give skills and values. If the learner graduates or moves out of the education system without any of these, this learner or this graduate cannot fit comfortably. These are, I repeat, people who maybe will graduate as farmers, and because they were not taught values, will start planting for us sukuma wiki or vegetables, spray them with pesticide. In the evening they are harvesting and taking them to the market. And you and me, we know once we eat this contaminated sukuma wiki, then anything can happen. Think of cancer. So kindly, when you go to deliver your lesson, Everything here is very important if you have to produce a whole graduate. If you are to produce a worker who is whole, you have to make sure that you teach all this in a CBC lesson. The great difference between a CBC and 8.4.4 lesson is, in 8.4.4 we were giving only knowledge, but hard times have taught us unless we teach all this, then the learners will graduate, learn into the world of work as job seekers, troublemakers, and not as job creators or peacemakers. Thank you for listening to me. Kindly subscribe and share my work.